Hello and welcome there to another episode of the Cliff Notes podcast, where we ask a leader and find the way. Today I've been joined by Laura Crawford, who's the founder and managing director, editor, journalist and PR at large at Machinery and Manufacturing magazine. And hello again today, Laura.
Hello, Tristan. Thank you so much. That was a fantastic introduction there. All of those things. Yes, I am all of those things and more.
And more to everyone and everything important around you. Thought we'd sort of jump in and then circle back to exactly what machinery and manufacturing is.
Absolutely.
We're at an interesting point in manufacturing in the UK, and I mean, as its part in the world. Also, we're sort of coming out of a pandemic. Things are happening. Things are changing. There's sort of resilience and manifestos and energy changes and reductions and electricity. There's a lot going on. I mean, are you trying to pull this together as a conversation, or where are you finding the vibe is at the moment with people?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much going on, isn't there? I think, in fact, so much has gone on that, in part, we've almost forgotten the pandemic. COVID is well and truly behind manufacturing companies, and I think energy is probably at the forefront of people's minds, really. We try and keep things real and keep a dialogue for people and be the news platform that provides a positive outlook for people, as well as being informative, I think, really, in terms of how we find ourselves within the conversation and the dialogue of the general industry, if that makes sense.
You've come to this as a magazine format, and as it's very sort of plush and exciting, and there's a lot of things going on and covering the industry. I mean, what brought you to coming up and getting into this space of reporting on people and showing the great things that are going on and how people are collaborating and working?
Well, I've been working within the publishing industry, within engineering and manufacturing, for 20 years. And I've always worked for other people. This is my first entrepreneurial solo journey, as it were. And I've often worked alongside different news desks and wondered, hang on a minute, but what if you're not really giving people a voice? And don't get me wrong, I'm not... I don't want that to be a detriment to any of the fantastic news platforms that are in UK manufacturing. Everyone has got their place. But I think the unique kind of angle that I wanted to take with machinery and manufacturing was to be able to give SMEs a voice, a single director with 4 machines and a couple of apprentices a voice to tell their story, and to be able to be part of the bigger pot of manufacturing, because I mean, it's a huge sector, and everyone is important. In fact, I think arguably the small to medium-sized enterprises that are often forgotten are actually more important, because without them, the industry wouldn't carry on ticking over as it is.
No, I mean, they are a big part, and I think the conversations I had even over the pandemic is pandemic in the sense of businesses didn't shut down for so long as they could, as long as their space allowed for it. There was demand there, and things don't stop in manufacturing unless you really get some problems of source material or demand. The people still wanted stuff doing, and some people felt they were even busier. But it is the smaller companies.
The ventilators, yes, exactly. Many of the parts, the PPE, the ventilators, parts for medical equipment, they were manufactured quite often within the SME remit of.
Sponsorship of this podcast has been brought to you by Holding Bay, the digital web agency. Holding Bay specialises in working with B2B companies, like manufacturers, to build better solutions and drive better sales funnels. So if you would like to build a web application or improve your branding and sales funnel, get in contact today. holdingbay.co.uk or call us on 01273 0 44019.
Companies that have got 0 to maybe up to 100 members of staff, for example. But yes, certainly the manufacturing sector didn't completely stop, and it played a huge part in our personal route out, alive, if that makes sense, without being completely yeah, it's not to be forgotten, for sure, to be celebrated.
You think of any particular journeys or particular stories, not necessarily coming out of the pandemic, but just more that things have been working out or been showing their excellence recently this year?
Well, it's a huge jump away from talking about medical technology, but one of my favourite stories within the manufacturing sector most recently has to be the Rolls-Royce Ultrafan. I think that's fantastic technology, and it is definitely going to be the future of aviation, in terms of being able to provide sustainable air travel for all of us for decades to come. So yeah, I think that's been something that's been on my radar, and something that I was absolutely sort of following since Farnborough, when they launched it at Farnborough International Air Show last year. So I'm really excited for them there, that they've had successful tests for that. But I mean, obviously Rolls-Royce, I've jumped from talking about small enterprises and over to Rolls-Royce there. But certainly there is just so much activity going on at the moment. People are investing. I think that is the most apparent thing to me, that people are buying machines, people are buying machine tools, people are investing in automation, robotics, and if they're not investing, they're at least looking to, and they're looking to find out how they can grow and how they can improve productivity. And I think that's overall wonderful to see.
No, I think it makes sense, and that sense of banding together or improving and things that we can fit together in a deal and not lose it out or make it need to be sent offshore to be done, because it is more productive to have something that can be delivered down the road than have to sit on a boat for a few months. And is that what you do? Is you get out on the road and see all these people and get out to events and visit in person? Or
We do. Well, not always in person. I would say that actually, I'm amazed at the amount of people that are more than happy to jump onto a 45-minute Teams call and speak about their product, speak about their business, and it means that either myself or Steed, who's our more technical writer, who's an ex-engineer, as much as I've been within the media world for 20 years within this market, I've never claimed to be an engineer. So he is most certainly a strength to our editorial team, and quite often he will take the lead in the technical reporting for us. But for us to be able to quite easily jump onto a call. One of us could be up in Cheltenham, the other person could be in Liverpool, and then you've got me down nearer the south coast. Being able to create quality content within the space of sort of half hour, 45 minutes remotely is amazing. Of course, I love to be out in the market. As much as Teams and Zoom calls have been fantastic for us to be able to create this kind of content remotely, being out in the workshops and seeing things, nothing beats that. So yeah, I try and kind of mix my week up and do a day or so out on the road, and then the rest of the time in the office, because as you mentioned at the beginning, when you were introducing me with all of these different names, I've juggled many different jobs and wear many hats within the business. So unfortunately, I'm not out in workshops 24/7 like I used to be. Those were the days. Or were they? Living off of KFC and having the odd snooze at a service station.
Yes, it does, like, meeting people is the goal of being able to shake someone's hand and see around what they're doing. But
Yes.
I mean, just before we get into some more specifics, then, just to clarify for people who haven't yet been able to sample your publication, this is a physical magazine and digital and stuff. I mean, what's the sort of production, or is this a monthly or weekly or something? Just to give people a little bit of sense, because I realised we didn't specifically cover what it is.
Yes, so Machinery and Manufacturing is published 6 times a year. Um, in terms of the magazine, we're also an online news portal. Now, the magazine's actually produced digitally first, and then we print it. So yes, we are very much a tangible magazine that you can hold in your hand, but our digital presence is where we kind of focus our main design um, energy, I guess you would say, really, because when I launched Machinery and Manufacturing, I wanted to launch a hybrid product that gave people the opportunity to promote their products by embedding video, or being able to give people the opportunity to read an article about their product or their company and then simply download a spec sheet about the product at the touch of a button, or watch the video to find out more. So yes, we are a hybrid magazine that gives people the opportunity to also pick up their phone or tablet whilst they're reading the printed edition and scan QR codes, so that the magazine becomes interactive from that side as well. And as things move on in the world of technology and people embrace video promotion more, I think the printed edition will become more and more immersive in the way that people can be scanning and interacting even with the physical pages if they're reading it in print. So yes, yeah, that's slightly different from other.
Sort of two sides to anything with publishing, I guess, for yourself is yes, you want to inform and entertain and keep people up to date who are reading and consuming the publication, but on the other side, you are offering a service and helping those companies promote. I mean, do you find that people are getting better at this, or they're getting more familiar, or this is the gap that you help people with, of understanding how to talk about, shout about, and show how great their work is?
Yes, completely. Are people getting better at it? Don't get me wrong, I get some amazing content through, get some fantastic adverts and some ideas that come through from companies that have obviously got very good creative teams or marketing teams in-house. Um, on the other hand, quite often I do work with companies that have got a logo on their letterhead that I could scan and use, that kind of at the stage of the marketing game, which I love both sides, but certainly I'm a complete marketeer at heart, and I'm so passionate about this industry. So I think I like to work with the people that want their hand held a little bit, and they're after some involvement on the creative side, and want help with some ideas for not just their adverts, but maybe looking further than that. Actually, don't just place a load of adverts. Yes, I could sit and say, thanks very much for your order, I love the fact that you want to work with me, but strategically, what are you trying to achieve? Do you want people to know your brand, or are you trying to increase the workload because you've got capacity? We need to get the message right. So yeah, to answer your question, it's a complete mixed bag, but I absolutely love it. I really, every day is different for me, which is wonderful. Really.
No, that's good, especially just getting so involved and enjoying working with those people. I mean, we see that on the other side. And it's not exactly the same in marketing and writing and producing that stuff, but that piece of, some people are familiar with how to present themselves, and some people are like, well, I ship accessories and making an engine. I'm not so interested in the logo that's on top of it. I want it to all be good, but that's not the same as inverted commas, waste my time on that. Like, spend my time on that. It's not something I know.
I know, exactly. So often I get sat with people that say, "Oh, can we have a little bit of a consultancy kind of call?" Yeah, that's fine because I do some consultancy on the side. Um, we sit and start talking about their business, and all of a sudden they start to tell me, "Oh, actually, we did recently completely redesign, I don't know, a fuel tank for a race bike." And I'm like, "Okay, that's amazing. Can we talk about that? Why aren't you talking about that?" That kind of, I think, um, in this marketplace, especially going back to the companies that are the small and medium sized enterprises that don't have the marketing teams, or perhaps are run by an engineer, until they actually sit down for a second and get talking about what they do, they forget the amazing things that they've actually got to speak about, if that makes sense. So that's when I get really excited, and the pen and pad comes out, and off we go. And yeah, that's quite often what you'll see within machinery and manufacturing. Have the conversations that have happened that turn into stories and give people the opportunity to have their say and tell their story.
Challenge sometimes is how are you more vocal, and that stuff, it does resonate with people, and it in out in the world where people are sharing media and talking about stuff all the time, and that becomes a lot of the sales and the marketing process. Is people don't just sort of cold call someone in sales and say, tell me what I should buy. They're doing their own research, they're looking this stuff up and learning themselves. But if you can't talk about it, you've sort of almost got to find these other challenges, or government work, or charity, or some other avenue, or your own product to be able to fill that gap of being able to have something to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. I see that all the time. People will say to me, "Oh, this is going on, that's going on. Can we talk about it?" No. Oh, okay then. But no, I think I try and get people to be so comfortable that they actually really rack their minds for jobs that they can talk about, because actually, um, with the right angle, it's amazing how you can make a fantastic story with the right company out of a very small turned part, that they might not have been a huge part of the overall turnover of that company that year, but it's still a story that we can speak about, and we can invigorate some kind of jazz and pizzazz, if you like, around it, to give the company their airtime and their moment for promotion. Because there are some amazing engineers in the UK, and I know for sure that I haven't even scratched the surface in terms of the amount of people that I would love to speak about. I could sit and speak to engineers all day.
Yeah, no, I had some friends. I think it's some little cogs or something for a respirator or something, but they're so tiny and delicate. I think they're little brass things that look a bit like it might go in a watch or something. They're so tiny though, but just it's just impressive that they can tell some and produce that stuff in boxes of thousands, to be able to pass on. So even that feels like an impressive story. It's not a whole engine or a whole plane or a car or anything, but it's still impressive, the scale and the refinement.
It's so impressive and crucial. Lots of these small parts are crucial parts to the success of manufactured goods. Even if someone is, as I was saying, and you've just said, manufacturing a small component. Yeah, it's all so important to the overall output of UK manufacturing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and where is it? Can you think of? Is there ways that you were talking about getting a story out of things, or if people were thinking while they're working and listening to this, was well, how could I make a story if I can't talk about things? Is there ways that people can, I don't know what, talk on current sort of country or world issues, like things that are relevant to the sector, or sort of awards and events, or challenges or
Absolutely.
teams you're involved with or something? What's sort of a good angle?
Absolutely. I think I rarely speak to a company. I don't think I've ever spoken to a company and walked away and thought, oh no, there are no stories there. There is always a story, even if it goes back to, I don't know, so what year did you start up? And have you always been at this premises? And, a little bit of a history about the company. I think social media has really kind of propelled us into a new way of thinking about company stories, if you like, really. Um, and it's great to see manufacturers and engineering companies promoting, I don't know, it's someone's birthday in the office today, or, oh, we've just received an award for someone within the finance team, or something like that. Not necessarily related to engineering and manufacturing, but still, they're being seen, they're showing up, they're putting their news out there. And it's amazing how just showing up and telling the world about your business and people that are integral within your business, that really does feed the industry and the overall positivity surrounding UK manufacturing. So I really do kind of, if someone's listening to this and thinks, oh, I've always wanted to do a story, but I've not really known where to start, I think get a pen and paper and just write down a few recent things that have happened within your um, site, how long you've been in business, and when the company birthday is, for example. I don't know, and just start. Take one photo, upload it, and say something. And I think after you've done that a few times, you realise, hey, there are people out there. People are interacting with this, and all of a sudden, maybe I can have a voice. And then that kind of warms people up for sure for an interview with us, and an article. And of course, if anyone is listening to this and would like to get in touch with machinery and manufacturing because they think they've got a story, then people are more than welcome to do that.
Yeah, no, that's great. We'll put that in the show notes that people will be able to get in touch with you. Is there what's the sort of best channel? Is it check out the website or email you, or where's good to look at, just so that people can note it down, and we'll attach the link.
We can, jump onto the website or email me directly, email the team, or through LinkedIn. I personally check all of the inboxes of all of our social media platforms, the company inbox and my own inbox every day. So you will, I'm sure, hear back from me within 24 hours of getting in touch.
Cool. Well, as we come towards almost sadly to the end of the interview, we move into sort of the more sort of thinking wider and then fun personal sort of reflective questions with you. But I'm sure anyone who needs to get in contact will, because it's certainly been a good read. The latest one I've been reading about the sort of different events and challenges and award ceremonies and things. I mean, have you seen that there's sort of looking sort of a few years out and stuff? Have you sort of seen that the sort of need to change and adapt? Maybe you want to talk about from your own sense or this, but or more from who you've been working with. The sense of they have adapted, or where do you think things might be going? The challenges that are sort of showing promise. I mean, I guess the standard things are sort of energy usage and supply chain and electricity and these different things that are coming through and changing the industry.
Yep, sure. I think I can speak to absolutely everyone within manufacturing and engineering that technology is where people's minds need to be in the next decade. Companies that don't improve their technology and look at ways to be more productive by using different technologies, they're going to be the people that unfortunately are going to be left behind. And when I say technology for everyone, I mean, me and my business as well, even as a publisher, it's relevant to absolutely everyone. The adoption of technology is crucial. I think within manufacturing and engineering, robotics and automation would be the main thing that spring to mind for me. And I think when I think of the overall efficiency of a manufacturing company, I know you just touched on energy there. Of course, energy is a hurdle for everyone at the moment in terms of the silly price point that everyone's going through. But there are technologies out there. There are amazing robotics and automation systems that can prove efficiency in such a way that used in the right way, I think people will actually come out of the other side of these. I don't want to call it, well, I am going to call it uncertain times. I know that's an overused phrase. It's just been a challenging time. I think that's what I'll call it. I think people that adopt technology, whatever technology may be, for their business, people that really utilize that are going to come out of the other side of this rocky period post-COVID stronger than they ever were before. That's my honest kind of take on that, and I'll do everything in my power that I can to promote ways that companies can improve their technology and efficiency in the way that they manufacture products.
So watch this space and keep reading the magazine to learn what you should be at, or whether you're ahead of the curve.
And there are other channels to subscribe to too. You know, come on, let's not make this completely biased. You know, there is a wonderful array of different titles within the certainly the CNC machine tool sector, and we're all very different, do different things, do our job, but actually the underlying thing is that most people are very passionate about the successes of UK manufacturers. You know, so we all need to be rowing in the same direction.
And I think that's good. I mean, that's the same as we've just been speaking about companies helping and working together and supporting the even the idea of UK manufacturing is that there isn't only one channel or one book or one magazine or one TV or radio station that you should be listening to. It's about being aware and consuming a range so that you've got a balanced understanding and you're seeing what's coming down the line. So
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Keep your eyes and ears open. And for the people that are in the media, show up and tell the truth. You know, I think if everyone does that, then it just provides people with, you know, an honest kind of idea to make their own decisions about the products that they buy and the way that they move their business. I must admit, I have seen in the last 6 months, shall we say, that collaboration between companies has just kind of, I don't know, I want to say not just doubled, probably trebled. Really, I'm seeing that events companies are collaborating to promote each other's events within the space, and you've got metrology companies that are kind of saying, okay, well, you're at this stage of the game and we're here, but you know, we could be a manufacturing solution for an end user. And it's really great to see that, because I think it gives people that are manufacturing products the opportunity to really understand how, as I've just been saying, adopting the technology can help their business, but also to know that maybe you've got a couple of partnered products that are going to work well together. You are going to get the support from one to another. I think that gives people just reassurance, really, when they're making their purchase. So yes, let's see more collaboration from people. It's lovely to see.
I like that. And that might even touch on my last question each time. But the first one was speaking on technology or tools and books, things that maybe you've been more personally using. Have you got a favourite tool or book or technology that you've been working with recently that you've been enjoying?
I use lots of different tools on a day-to-day basis to do my job, but something that stands out to me as a business person and as a startup business person, I think the book Manifest, Dive Deeper, It's written by Roxy Nafusi. It has been really useful to me as a person without getting really woo woo and deep. It's more of a way to kind of understand yourself within your business and to manifest positivity and how you can portray that within your business. And I think actually, to me, that's really important. It doesn't matter what line of business, what type of company you are, to be able to actually really truthfully understand yourself and actually be transparent with yourself within your business, and then be as transparent as that within the market to your customers is really important. So yeah, I think that's probably what I will say I've found the most.
I'll put that on my reading list. That's a new one to me.
Not
So that's good.
TikTok. Sorry, no, nothing against TikTok. I'm joking. Was you expecting me to say TikTok?
No. That it's meant to be personal. It's not meant to be pick the thing that's topical for everybody. It's meant to be what's helping you. So I think that's good. And then our last sort of show question is around you're feeling like, so we've been talking about sort of industry and positivity and things, but still there are certain constraints and things that everyone's working with. So if you were feeling, either take this on yourself or put yourself in the mind of a business owner, if you were boxed in a corner, and what one or two things could you grab physically or superpowers or whatever, if you want to come out on top and be the superhero to save the day?
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go for a pen because, who can be without a pen? And probably my lip gloss. I mean, a pen and lip gloss, and surely I can get through anything, right?
Paper and pencil. It all starts there. Starts with an idea and getting that idea moving and getting it into production. But it doesn't get out of your mouth and on somewhere else if you haven't written
Absolutely,
it down.
So. That's right.
Well, thanks again for joining us today. We've sort of covered the piece of where people can go and find out more. But anything else you'd like to say about the work you do in different fronts?
I would like to thank you for inviting me onto the show. At first, it's really wonderful as a kind of a startup product. We've only been going for 18 months, so really appreciate the fact that you've noticed us and given us the time today to chat. And if anyone would like to go and check us out, you can find out more about what we do and register for a magazine at machineryandmanufacturing.com. Registration for a magazine is free of charge, and there is the option to request a digital edition or a printed one. So whatever people prefer. Cool.
Great stuff. Well, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Tristan.
Thanks for joining us again on the Cliff Notes podcast. We've enjoyed having you join us on the journey. If you'd like to find out more about the guest or myself, please do at cliffnotespodcast.com or catch up with us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. We're on all the places, and we always love to hear from you. We'll catch you again soon.